action that took place this week. Yeah, big-time playoff action that took place this weekend in the NBA. I saw a new young star in Anthony Edwards. I saw Ja Morant fall. I saw Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in the lineup, but Jordan Poole, who was in the G League last year, put on a show. And I saw, yes, I'll say it, Kyrie Irving put on a show. Not just during the game, but after the game as well. Stephen A, Molly, Big Perk in the house. Like the tie, Perk. Like the tie. But not as much as I like this vest. First takes and a half. Let's go.
When I come into this building, what it's going to be like, but it's the same energy they have for me, and I'm going to have the same energy for them.
The TD Garden has become a hostile place for Kyrie Irving.
Embrace it. Embrace it. It's the dark side. Embrace it.
Irving, step back three. Puts it in. What a fluck. What a masterpiece from Kyrie Irving.
The only thing you got to do is just try to figure it out. When you do that, it feels good. It feels really good.
Jaylen Brown kicks it out. Smart fakes inside. Tatum spins and he puts it in. And what a thrilling finish to game one of what could be one of the all-time series.
Good day. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday weekend. Kendrick Perkins, top of the morning to you, sir. Stephen A, good morning from the West Coast. I'm Molly Karam, and gentlemen, a lot of playoffs to get into, so let's do it. What a game. Jayson Tatum's buzzer-beating layup gave the Boston Celtics a dramatic 115-114 win over the Brooklyn Nets. Perk loved it in their series opener on Saturday. Tatum scored 16 of his 31 points in the second half, along with adding 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal. Meanwhile, Kyrie back in the city he left, and Boston fans salty. More on that in just a second. Irving scored a game-high 39 points for the Nets. Kevin Durant put up 23, but went 9 of 24 from the floor, including some open trailing looks in transition. Kyrie flipping off the Celtics crowd on 2 separate occasions. Boston fans do not play, booing him every shot they got. Kyrie had that big energy Sunday, matching the fans' intensity. I'll let him explain.
You know, it's nothing new when I come into this building, what it's going to be like, but it's the same energy they have for me, and I'm going to have the same energy for them. And it's not every fan. I don't want to attack every fan, every Boston fan, but, you know, when people start yelling and you and all this stuff, it's but so much you can take as a competitor. And, you know, we're the ones expected to be docile and be humble and take a humble approach. Nah, that's the playoffs. This is what it is.
From a basketball standpoint,
yeah.
Do you feel like the hostility you get?
There's no hostility, bro. It's basketball.
Well, you were flicking some people off. I'd say that's some hostility.
From what? What point? Are you guessing that that's hostility, or like hostility for me is like growing up?
Well, we've never seen that from you this season, where you are running down the floor flicking people off.
This is the first time you actually caught it because it's a big-time game. I respond in different ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to focus on that. If you want to ask me questions about the fans, go ask them. Go on the street and ask them questions, all right?
But I'm asking from your perspective, from a basketball perspective, do you feel like the hostility that you get?
It's not hostility,
fans,
bro.
Do you feel like the energy you get from fans in this building brings out the best from you?
Embrace it. Embrace it. It's the dark side. Embrace it.
Nick not backing down there either. Embrace it, SA. It's the dark side. Bigger headline, Kyrie scoring or that fan banter?
Well, I'm going to say it's a pick 'em as far as I'm concerned, because he was absolutely sensational, and I'm not going to deflate the performance that he put on by saying that what happened in the aftermath of it, is something that it takes away from the performance, because it does not. He was absolutely sensational, and he deserves a lot of credit. Should he have done that? Here's the problem. No, because obviously he's going to get fined by the league. Knowing the league and its rules and stipulations, he deserves to be fined. But I have to tell you this. Are you ready for this, KP? I completely support Kyrie Irving on this. 1,000%. I found absolutely positively no problem with what Kyrie Irving did whatsoever. The fact of the matter is the fans were coming at him. They were bringing that mess. No, I don't condone violence. I don't condone you going and attacking fans and all of that other stuff. But you know what? He knew when he flipped the bird at the fans that he knows he's going to get fined. He made a decision, I don't care. And the reason why he said I don't care is because of what they were subjecting him to. I'm sorry. I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. Not even a little bit. The fact of the matter is that he didn't impede the game. A matter of fact, he made the game even better. He went on, and while he was flipping them the bird, he was busting their living. You know what? That's what he was doing. He wasn't sitting up there and having to be restrained and getting into all engaging in histrionics and having to be restrained and all of this. That's not what happened. Kyrie Irving was looking at them after one jumper after another, one layup after another, one dance move after another on Marcus Smart or Tatum or whoever the hell was trying to guard him. He was doing what the fans did to him because they brought the smoke. So he said, let's get it on. And what he was doing was basically replicating what's emblematic of what transpires on the playground and beyond. Excuse me, you want to talk some smack? I'm not going to fight you or anything. This isn't a boxing match. This is a basketball game. But you want to talk smack at me? I'm going to talk it at you. Now, they have justification in terms of why they have the vitriol they do have for him because he was there. He wasn't at his best when he was there. He told them he'd want to stay, and then he departed. So they really love it. They really hate the fact that they love him so much, and he's no longer wearing a Boston Celtics uniform. That's really what this is about, because a sensational talent like that, you want in your uniform as opposed to the opposition. But all of these people out here that are going to try to use this to go up against Kyrie Irving. I got things against Kyrie Irving. We know where my position is. The damn man misses too many games. All right? And by the way, this is exactly for people out there that think that, oh, every time he scored, every time he puts on a show, that makes Stephen A. look bad. No, you fools. It actually makes me look good. It buffers my point. This is what I want to see all the time. I don't want to see that 20, 23 games a year. I want to see this brother walking through the turnstiles and putting on the majestic performances few people on this planet have ever been capable of putting on display like he does. I stand here this morning completely supporting Kyrie Irving defending himself against that shrapnel of vitriol that was thrown in his direction. You, Boston, your team has to do something about it because clearly as a fan base, you can't do much about it because you can't play against Kyrie Irving. You need the Celtics to help you. And yesterday, they seemed ill-equipped to deal with that brother. I like it. It didn't bother me one bit because he explained himself in the post-game conference, KP. He talked about what they were saying to him. I understand exactly where he's coming from, and this is not a day that I'm going to go against Kyrie Irving on this.
Well, it's hard, too, to go against some Stephen A. Look, here's the thing, right? I spent 8.5 years in Boston. I won the championship there. I love the energy there. They have one of the best, if not the best, fan base in basketball. We know they're hostile. We know they're cutthroat. We know that they're unfiltered. Now, with that being said, Boston fans, the city of Boston, I love you. But you might want to leave him alone because what you just said, you don't have to guard him. Those guys that are on the floor have to guard him, and you have certain players out there that booing, noise talking, sometimes it could take them out of the game. Well, Kyrie Irving is not one of those players. He actually embraced that type of energy. He actually embraced that type of atmosphere. He actually thrived off of that energy being on the quote-unquote dark side. So if you're the fans from the Boston, I'm not saying you got to cheer for him. I'm not saying that you can't even boo him collectively. But those individual comments, those fans that are sitting courtside that have those certain words that they're shooting at him, you might want to back off a little bit because at the end of the day, you don't want to poke that bear. Now, with that being said, listen, Kyrie Irving, I'm telling you, Stephen A., watching him last night, yesterday, his mentality is just on a whole nother level for us going get buckets. I mean, the way that he does it and how he does it, being that size, the way that he finishes in the paint. And look, I actually like this version of Kyrie Irving. I actually like him talking noise. I actually like him showing that he actually is engaged and he's about the moment because this is what we've been missing. So with that being said, look, my advice, Stephen A., Molly, to the fan base of Boston, I love you guys, but leave him alone, please.
Well, there's a bunch of folks that's going to walk out here, and they're going to try to focus on his behavior. I say this, listen, we all know that the city of Boston has had its share of criticism. People have pointed a finger at their fan base, et cetera, et cetera. I'm here to tell you as somebody that's been in Boston many times, for many games, I love their fan base. I love the energy. I love the vitriol
sure.
they throw in the direction of fans and all of this other stuff. The few bad apples that take it a step further and all of that other stuff, that's a different discussion for another day. But that is not representative of the Boston fan base inside a TD Bank or the old Boston Garden. The fact that they bring that level of fervor and hostility for the visitors is a beautiful, beautiful thing for the home team. It's a beautiful